In the last video that we did together, we were talking about how we were going to be doing a 5th IVF egg retrieval. And so here we wanted to give an update on that process.
A little bit of history. So after our first IVF round, where we got one good embryo, and it was a surprise to both us and the doctor at that time that we had sort of out of 6 that were tested, that only 1 came back normal, because at that time, it was sort of just assumed that 50% of my eggs were bad. So we expected, of 6 that got sent out, we had been expecting around 2 to 3 to come back normal, and only 1 did. So we were a little bit defeated. And so we just said, you know what, let's just do the second round immediately. So as quickly as we were able, we went ahead and did the second round. That one produced, number one, it was a terrible, we only sent 2 out for testing, which was not good, and both came back abnormal. Then, before we decided to do the third round, we decided to sort of take a break. We went through sort of 2 cycles so that we could sort of regroup, get in a better headspace, sort of remove ourselves from the immediate feelings of this didn't work and what the heck is going on. And so we took a break. And then when we did the third round, we sent 6 out again. And this time we got 2 back. So we were like, oh my gosh, well, there must be something there. You know, number one, we got ourselves into a better headspace. I waited a little bit longer. Maybe my body sort of regulated a little bit more. And we felt that there were really good results. Now, fast forward to after the 4th round, I have to admit, I am sometimes not the most patient person. And part of my feeling was, look, we have no idea how this part of our story ends. But whatever it is, I want to get to it quicker. Like, I want to know sooner rather than later what we're up against. So my feeling was, I would like to do this as soon as I'm able. Brent brought up the point, and ultimately it made a lot of sense, was in this world of fertility medicine where there's still so much unknown, we can really only go off of our experience. And our experience was we did not have a good result when we didn't wait.
Several years ago, I was having trouble making a decision, and somebody had asked me the question, which will you regret more, doing this or doing this? And that really kind of put things in perspective for me. It kind of allowed me to see the big picture. When I asked myself this question in regards to, do we do the 5th round of IVF right away, or do we give it a month? Kind of playing out the scenarios in my mind. If we had gone ahead and done it right away, and there was a part of me that did want to do that, because I did kind of have that urgency of wanting to get through it. But if we had gone that route and had things not work out, and if we'd gotten 0 viable embryos, I would have felt an incredible amount of regret, because I would have just been like, well, of course this happened. This is what has happened to us in the past. So how could we have not seen that? Whereas now that we've taken a month off, if whatever comes of this next round, this 5th round, I feel like I will, even if things go wrong, I will have a peace about it. Because, I mean, it'll obviously be very difficult, but I will have a sense of peace with it, because I would have felt like we did everything we could to give ourselves the best chance for success.
This was actually really good for me, because there were some underlying emotions that I don't think I was dealing with, namely actually anger. My therapist actually gave me a really interesting tool to do, or an interesting exercise. So we don't live in a brick house, so outside was not possible, and frankly, probably preferable not to be outside during this exercise.
In public.
But we do have a bathtub. And so what we did was I filled an entire bowl of ice cubes. And she was just like, just start throwing the ice cubes in the bathtub and just sort of see what starts happening. And I said, okay. So I brought Brent with me. And at first you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm saying some things that I'm a little frustrated about, but I'm not really feeling anything come out. And then at about maybe, I don't know, the 7-minute mark, some true anger started coming out. And coupled with me like actually throwing ice into our bathtub. So, you sort of get that, release out. And I gotta tell you, it was really helpful. And I had a lot in there. It was an exercise that I didn't really know sort of what would come out, sort of where my anger was being focused. And I think I was actually able to deal with a lot that I hadn't been dealing with because I had been compartmentalizing and just sort of trying to like get through the day and move forward. So I do sort of feel like I am processing things and dealing and releasing actually sort of emotions that maybe have been tied up a little bit, that I think whether or not they played a role in anything previous in terms of the last round, obviously I have no idea. No one could ever tell us that. But the important thing is that I feel like I'm in a better sort of emotional state to go through all of it.
Actually, something that helped me get a little bit of perspective the other day was I was talking to my therapist. I was saying that I've been having a real trouble processing everything that has happened in the past while also trying to get into a positive mindset for this next round. It's like, how do you do both? Like, I've spent so much time grieving and just feeling down about our losses and the bad results that I've worried, like, could I build myself back up and get into a good mindset to give everything that we possibly have to this next round. And my therapist made the point that you can really do both at the same time, and it's natural and it's okay to do both at the same time. I think I was looking at everything under this one umbrella of trying to conceive, and so it was like I either have to feel good or bad, and it's one or the other, and it's not. And I think you've always had the ability to really compartmentalize, and I think I do need to compartmentalize a little more, that I need to give myself the freedom to take some time and think about and process whatever I need to process in regards to whatever has happened at this point. But then I can also turn my attention to the here and now and be positive and be very hopeful about this next step. You can really do both at the same time, and both are ways of constructively moving forward.
We're going to keep you guys updated on the progression of the 5th round when it begins. Hopefully, we're going to get started with this in the next week. And then that is for like a mid-July retrieval. Last time, I told you all that I was going to try and channel a blowfish and get myself, all plumped up and ready to be retrieved. That didn't work great. So I'm working on what I'm going to try and channel next time. But whatever it is, it's going to be very egg focused, because I really need those boys and girls to come up to the surface and really, really get out there. They really need to want this. So I'm working on it. So I'll let you guys know when I come up with it. So once again, high five to round 5.